What's up, guys?
On this week's show,
Brad Pitt in space?
Avengers reassembled.
And did E3 suck?
All that and more on this episode
of One Giant Leap for Geeks.
Cue the music.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for
Geeks. Welcome to another episode of OGLFG, where we talk about movies, video games, and all things in geek culture. I'm your host, Mike C. Squared. And with me are my co-hosts, Benwah.
We lost Ben.
Oh, fuck. Ben, can you hear me? Oh. Go ahead. I'm like, what the fuck? Go ahead.
No, that was it. You're going to leave all that in.
Oh, okay. And DJ Melly-Mel.
Hey.
Now, before we get started, kids, I want to let you know, if you enjoyed the show, tell your friends about us. Share us on your social media, whatever you choose to do. Just know that you're helping us let others know about the best damn podcast they probably never heard of. Now, if you want to talk to us, the show is on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks. You can get a hold of our resident DJ Melly-Mel at Froggy Beaver, and Benwah's at Benwah Gaming. That's BENWAH Gaming.
If you're like me and around my age, you're a sucker for nostalgia, especially 80s and 90s. I'm talking music, movies, television, games, just pop culture as a whole. So, if you're from mid-Michigan or going to be traveling to the area, I suggest you check out Rewind and Birch Run. Rewind is a vintage-inspired blast from the past with not just cool trinkets and novelty items, but dope gear to rock as well. I'm talking shirts, jackets, caps, and even sneakers. Retro styles to make your inner child smile. Absolutely, positively, definitely check out Rewind. You might even see your boy Benwah copping something old school or shooting the breeze with the owner, Tyler. Rewind is right off of I-75, exit 136 in the Birch Run Premium Outlets, Section E, next to Crocs.
Young gal, wagwan. That's
okay.
That's just that's my what you've been doing for this week. That's that's my Rasta. What you been doing?
Oh, that's what that was.
Yeah, wagwan.
Okay.
Young gal,
Gotcha.
wagwan.
Okay. What did I do this week? Let's see. Worked a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Played hooky a little bit.
Ooh, you better hope nobody that you work with listen to this.
Nah. No, I really didn't do nothing. I worked, and then I think that was it.
Yeah.
It's a pretty uneventful week.
Yeah.
The house cleared out.
Mm-hmm.
That was...
Yeah.
That was thank the stars, because we were all ready.
Yeah, from what you said last week, Jesus Christ, you were like running a hostel for a minute. I'm like,
for a
God
quick minute,
damn.
yeah. Had people sleeping on my couch, had people sleeping on the floor, had 4 to a bed. I mean, it was
just people sleeping on people.
Right, I know,
pretty
people sleeping
much.
on top of each
People
other.
sleeping
Yeah.
on top of people.
It's like y'all just stand in the corner.
Yeah, poor Lexi, she almost got kicked out of her own bed.
Damn.
By 2 little people. Like,
Damn.
I don't even understand that shit. But house is calm.
Well, she's also a little person too.
Well,
so,
she
I
is
mean,
smaller,
you know,
yes,
yeah.
but the other 2
Is
are...
that what we call midgets now?
No.
Yeah. We're using a politically correct term. She's a little person.
She's
okay.
not a midget yet. She's got 2 inches for being a midget.
Oh, okay. So when you're like 65, then yeah.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But,
fair.
yep, house is cleared out and almost back to clean and normal. So we did our best to clean up after the tornado. Much thanks to Lexi. She cleaned. That was perfectly awesome.
Nice.
What about you, Ben? What you been doing?
I have about 7 inches last time I eyeballed it. But, yeah, see?
You know,
I'm
I was
pause
like,
for dramatic effect.
I was gonna say, I was like, should I comment on that?
Oh, dear
I'm just gonna let that hang in the air for a while. Just leave
Yeah, I
Let
let
it
it hang
hang.
too sometimes.
No.
Yes. But other than
Dick
inappropriate
jokes.
dick jokes,
Dick jokes. That's what we do here.
I briefly told Mike about this earlier. Well, like the other day. So earlier, yeah. But I was playing a game that I put over 20 hours into it. Final Fantasy V, taking part in a 4-job fiesta. That is something that happens every June for charity, although it hasn't officially begun yet. I was just doing it to kind of get in the mood. And I'd gotten to a point where not only did I somehow end up out of bounds, but I sequence break the game and soft locked it, which is incredibly weird because I would have not thought that as possible in the game. And I actually recorded it, and I am going to edit it down, and maybe I'll upload it to YouTube for 0 people to watch.
Hey, I might check that out.
Oh yeah, no, I want to see it because from the way he was describing it to me, I was like, ooh, that's fucked.
Well, I was very reserved. This is not going to be anything like me legit raging.
No,
which
rage
has happened multiple times. I did, but
okay.
Yeah.
Soft
I say
rage
no
quit.
because it's a soft rage. It's like a vexed quit.
Okay, all right.
Other than that, I wanted to do my yard today, but I wound up doing some other things, and there's a good chance I may go out for some ice cream tonight.
You stealing my ideas, Ben.
I'll say it's tonight's ice cream night.
I am not stealing your ideas, Mel. If anything, you've inspired me.
There you
Okay,
go. Take it that way.
I can roll with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And at no point later on in this podcast is ice cream going to be brought up again. Wink.
Wink, wink. Hint, hint. Nudge, nudge.
Nice foreshadowing.
All right,
Yes,
I got you.
Better than foreskinning. Anyway,
Hey, I mean, either
I'm going to put this out
as
there.
long as you clean it, whatever.
Well, I mean, I'm circumcised, but that's a different story. Anyway, this may be, for anybody who listens to this regularly, this may very well be my last time on the podcast. I don't know. I'm going to be starting up a second job, and so between the massive production schedule of this show and my personal life, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep the two in line, running parallel to one another. So if this is the last of Benwah, I want everybody to know that last time I looked at my penis, I thought it was about 7 inches.
More dick jokes.
Nice. Just to leave you with that touching sentiment. I like it. Well, for me, nothing super exciting. I had a bonfire.
What?
I had a bonfire. Yeah, I know. You're not invited to my bonfires. I'm sorry, Mel.
Not. This is number 2.
Yeah, this was Saturday night.
Bruh, I was off Saturday night.
You don't send me your schedule. I don't know your life. I don't know. Okay.
Hey, you have my number. How hard is it to say?
That is fair.
Hey, Mel, we're
That's
having a
fair.
bonfire tonight. It literally takes me 20 minutes to get here.
Well, you were hosting a small village of people and shit.
Not
I
on
figured-
Saturday, I wasn't.
Okay, I promise. If we do one,
If you would have just told them you were having a bonfire and they would have all brought food, you'd have been set for 2 weeks.
Dude,
yeah, probably.
they could have brought beer. We
Yeah.
could have had fun.
Yeah, that's fair. I love how she assumes I didn't have fun without her being there, but it's all good. No, I'm kidding. No,
I didn't say you didn't have fun. I said we could have had fun.
Okay. All right, that's fair. I know I won't be able to do one this weekend because I will be working, but next weekend we might have another one. It's pretty much I want to try to have a bonfire every weekend while the weather's nice because I got a
Right.
lot of wood to burn. Not just because I love fire that much, but I just got a lot of wood to burn.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, that was pretty much, the bonfire. A-Train went and she was nice enough to get it all set up and stuff. She bought 1,000 tiki torches. So if you look outside my window, there's a bunch of tiki torches into my backyard right
I
now.
like tiki torches.
The way it was set up, it was like we were having a seance or some shit. I'm sure our neighbors thought we were trying to raise Malboja or some shit
I'm
from
sure that
the
pissed
depths
off
of
your
hell.
one neighbor very thoroughly.
No, because he's across the street, so he can't even see my backyard.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Plus, he was being an asshole all night anyway.
Oh.
Other than that, no, it's pretty been laid back. I do have something coming up for tomorrow night. I am going to be recording that super secret special episode that I kind of hinted at last week, and it will be probably coming out next week because the way my work schedule's working out, I won't actually be able to record next week at all.
Right.
So I have something planned for that special, but you will see. It will have something to do with a person that has been in the limelight a lot lately, but you will see when tune in next week.
Being very
To be
cryptic.
continued, yes. All right, but other than that, that is all I got. So moving on.
How do I say goodbye to what we had? The good times that made us laugh outweighed the bad. I thought we'd get to see forever, but forever has blown away. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
Have you ever seen either 2001: A Space Odyssey or Interstellar? Either one of you.
I've seen the 2001 Space Odyssey.
Okay. What about you, Benwah?
I've seen that as well, but that was a while ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a long time either, but Interstellar for either one of you guys?
Inner Space.
I think I did see Interstellar. Is that the one with
Matthew McConaughey?
Matthew McConaughey.
And Anne Hathaway?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Space.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Plot
right.
line. Boom.
Yes. Matthew McConaughey in space.
I did see that one.
This reminded me a lot of that. When I was watching it, I was like, this could be our next one of those two films, because I don't know much about the director of this. I don't know anything about the story besides what they show in the trailer, but from what I can surmise, there's something about Brad Pitt's father, who was also an astronaut, Tommy Lee Jones. He went into space to do some super secret government research thing about aliens and some such unstable element, some shit.
And then he disappeared.
And then, now fast forward however many years later, now Brad Pitt's going up into space and he has to shoot people on the moon or some shit. I don't know, because there was a lot of weird shit happening. Like,
I think they were trying to keep it under wraps that Tommy Lee Jones was going to be his dad.
well, he flat out says it, and they put a picture of him, and he's like, "Oh, my father, sir." And then they show a picture of Tommy Lee Jones, and I was like, well, you're kind of...
Well, he even says, I do what I do because of my dad. He
Right.
knows who his father is.
Right.
No, I meant the movie itself was actually trying to hide the fact that it was Tommy Lee Jones that was his dad.
From the audience?
Yes.
No.
That was the same. They didn't do a
I'm
good
like,
job.
in the
Yeah.
first few seconds.
Are
he
you
goes,
high?
I do what I do.
No. Overworked, underpaid.
No.
If anything, they made it seem like the government made it seem like Tommy Lee Jones may have turned or been bad.
Right.
Which is
Yeah.
making me think that this is really going to be a government conspiracy where he went to do something, it did not turn out the way they wanted it to,
Yeah.
and so now they're going to let Tommy Lee Jones take the fall.
Yeah, because
Sounds about right.
Brad Pitt has a line towards the end of the trailer. He's like, the Earth put, his hopes in him, or its hopes in him, and now its fate, lies with me, or some shit like that. So I don't know if maybe he went rogue and did something, or, who fucking knows. But
I don't like the title of this
Ad
movie.
Astra.
Yeah,
It's a weird name.
I read that like Ed Asner at first.
Yeah, I did too. I was like...
I was waiting for him.
It's funny because when the title came up, I was like, this feels like this could be the name of like some kind of, antidepressant medicine or some shit like that. Like,
Just popping Ad Astra.
Right.
Nah, man, there's no Z's, Q's, or Y's. No.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Like in my mind, it's like, do you have anal bleeding? Take Ad Astra.
Right.
Like,
He'll put his foot up your ass so you don't bleed anymore.
right. Tommy Lee Jones presents Ad Astra. All up in that ass.
Oh my god.
But one of the things I did think was cool about it was just like the visual stuff. Like, I love space, like exploration movies.
Oh yeah,
like,
I do too.
Apollo 13, all that kind of shit. I love those kind of movies. So,
See, I've always said that space travel is interesting. Space is interesting. I could never go.
yeah,
But
no,
that's just like
yeah.
a personal thing.
Oh no,
But I
no.
love to see space exploration movies. I like to see stuff
Right,
like
she said that's close. I'm getting to this bullshit.
Yeah. I'll keep my feet on the ground, but
I feel that.
Show me through a telescope all day long.
I
or
feel that. I don't even like
a
trampolines,
movie
let alone.
screen. Well, I mean, I do like roller coasters, so
No.
maybe I'd be a better astronaut than I think.
I think it gets boring though after a while.
Probably so.
Because I'm sure that whole waitlist shit wears off after like a week, and it's like, okay, I'm over this shit. Like, I want to sit down.
I think the lack of sound in space is what would get me.
Well, you would have sound inside the spaceship.
That's
It's just
true.
on the outside.
That's true.
It's just, I think claustrophobia would be your biggest thing. Because you can't go nowhere. You're stuck in the ship.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you don't like being stuck indoors for like a week, imagine like months or years at a time.
Swimming in the air for only so long,
Yeah, I was going to say. But I'm pretty sure astronauts have sex in space sometimes.
Oh, that'd be
So
interesting.
that would be difficult.
I wonder how that would work.
Yeah, because you're weightless.
Imagine all the new positions.
Yeah, but see, in
You don't
theory
have
it
any,
sounds good, but
like-
you don't have anything to thrust off of.
No, you'd have to.
You'd have to like back up into a wall and like pull the person towards you, I guess, and like keep strapped on. Or I guess that'd be the only way I
You
can
have
see
to
that
get
working.
a harness.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Sex swing. There you go.
Yeah, they get set up. You go back. You jump off the wall
Mm-hmm.
into the pussy. Oh, that would actually be kind of cool.
There has to be some kind of fan fiction about
Elon
this.
Musk, get on this shit.
We need some sex in space.
How many miles above sea level do you need to go to hit space? Because, I mean, we got the Mile High Club.
Yeah.
What would that be called?
I don't know. Or you know what? Or you could just do that simulated weightlessness where you go up into planes and then they dive really fast and then you kind of float up. You have to do it real quick though.
I'll pass on
I'm
that.
going to say, like, how hard would it be to hit the hole?
Yeah, yeah,
Probably pretty hard.
yeah. We're getting way off topic.
So, Brad Pitt in space.
Yes, but no. One of the coolest things that I saw in the trailer was when whatever happens that explodes off in the distance and they're on that like space station thing and then he falls. I have a theory. I think they're gonna pull some Inception type shit where when he fell, he just died or like went unconscious or something because they show him falling and then the next thing he wakes up in the hospital and his wife is there and I'm just like, how did he survive that
I feel
fall?
like you did not just fall from space.
Because I'm like, even if he somehow had a parachute, because if he just hit the water, he dead. Like, I don't give a fuck what he fell into.
Well,
he
no,
dead.
you can't. He's in space. He'll burn up.
Exactly.
In the
I'm like, or even if he was maybe low enough to the stratosphere to where he wasn't quite in the outer atmosphere to where he would
He
burn
still
up.
would have burned up.
Yeah, but so I'm really curious to how they're gonna, explain that away because I'm like it's a point that's in the trailer, so I think it's kind of a little red herring maybe to throw you off, or maybe it's a clue like, hey, none of this shit is real. Like, who fucking knows? All that being said, though, it has a really good cast. It's got Brad Pitt, Tommy Lee Jones. What's her name? Aerosmith's daughter.
Liv Tyler.
Liv Tyler, which she ain't been in a space movie since fucking Armageddon and shit. Oh, they can get Steven Tyler to come do the soundtrack for this.
There you go.
Oh, don't want to close my eyes too.
I also don't want to close my eyes.
Right, I don't want to close my eyes
'Cause you're
again.
in space again.
Right, I don't want to fall asleep again because I miss you, babe, again.
I really.
And I don't want to die in space.
Right. I actually do like that song, and I
I love that song.
loved Armageddon.
Get
but
me drunk at a bar and put that shit on. Hell yeah.
I'm pointing.
But you're also
to myself.
forgetting Donald Sutherland is going to be in this
That's
film.
right.
I
I
don't
know.
remember seeing him in any part of the trailer.
They show him for like a split second.
Like, you really had to look that.
Yeah,
it was
like
him.
I think it's during the part where they're showing when they're like getting Brad ready to. I say Brad, like Brad Pitt, friend of the show,
Oh,
Brad.
hey, we know Brad.
We go
We
way
know
back.
Brad, yeah.
I used to give him money for the ice cream, man. We go way back. No, when they were doing like the physical test on him and they were like, examining him and shit, they show him like standing in a hallway watching, but it's like that.
Yeah, he's
and
like
it's over.
creeping in the background.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, take your
So I
shirt
must have
off.
blinked.
It's like,
But also, and most importantly, B. Rad is going to be in this film.
be right.
Jamie Kennedy,
Oh, really?
the not funny guy.
What they show him?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Holy shit, that scared the shit out of me. Talking about
Sorry,
silence.
guys.
Oh,
But-
that would have been perfect if we were reviewing the trailer for the new Beatles movie.
Yeah. It's like,
Just remember, guys, if ever you do any live broadcasting or recording, to mute your fucking phone.
probably a good idea. Hmm.
I already did.
But do they show Jamie Kennedy and we just missed him, or is he just in the cast list?
He is in the cast list, as well as a name I'm not going to try to pronounce.
Oh, it's one of them like South African names.
Oh, no, this is awfully close to a word we should not use.
Oh, ooh, okay. It must be the N word. What the fuck? What is this motherfucking
I don't know.
name?
I want to look it up now.
Oh, don't worry about it. Well, okay. Anyway, when does this one come out, Ben?
Well, it was actually scheduled to come out twice before this. It was supposed to be coming out on January 11th. Then it got pushed back to May 24th. And now they're saying September 20th.
Damn. I wonder why. See, sometimes I get worried about stuff like that, but the last big movie Brad Pitt was in was that World War Z, and they pushed that back. But it actually ended up being pretty good. So
Maybe he decided he wanted reshoots.
yeah, because that's what happened with World War Z. He was like, "Nah, we ain't finna put this shit out like this."
He'd be like, you putting my name on this shit?
He said, "Motherfucker, I am Brad Pitt with 2 T's. Fuck the bullshit." All right, so then yeah, you said September
20th.
September 20th at Astra for anal bleeding, all up in that ass. All right, moving on.
You did not. No, you did not put 2001 A Space Odyssey in the same category as Interstellar. Don't get me wrong. Interstellar is a good movie. But 2001 is a goddamn masterpiece. Hal is literally my idol. You should be ashamed. Ashamed, I say.
Welcome to Benwah's Wabbit Hole. It's where I, Benwah, give you a brief synopsis of random things I found interesting on the internet. Some of these things may be further elaborated on in future podcasts, but I'd recommend you dig deeper for yourself if you're interested.
The views and opinions expressed in the Wabbit Hole are those of Benwah's and Benwah's alone, and do not necessarily reflect the position of any member, affiliate, or future sponsor, despite us not having any, of the One Giant Leap for Geeks podcast.
Last year, Robert De Niro made sure to drop a couple fucks towards President Trump during the Tony Awards. This year, Bryan Cranston, who won the award for Best Leading Actor for the Play Network, was more subtle in his approach by defending journalists, saying, and I'm paraphrasing this, "Journalists are actually in the line of fire in pursuit of the truth. The media is not the enemy of the people. Demagoguery is the enemy of the people." He further elaborated on these comments backstage, saying, "It's absurd to think that the media is the enemy of the people. If that message keeps getting propagated over and over and over again, sometimes it starts to seep in. And the perception of the truth is often more important than the truth because if the people believe it, it doesn't matter whether it's true or not." President Trump has been a harsh opponent of most media, often referring to reports as fake news, regardless of its accuracy, and declaring much of it as an enemy of the people. Now, for the record, the One Giant Leap for Geeks podcast is not journalism in its purest form, if any form at all. And neither is the Wabbit Hole. Also, fuck you, Trump. The government of Canada, led by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, intends to ban single-use plastics as early as 2021. Their considerations, inspired partially by the European Union, may include, but is not limited to, plastic water bottles, bags, straws, and perhaps even dinnerware, as well as containers made of styrofoam. According to a study commissioned by Environment and Climate Change Canada back in 2016, only 9% of plastic was recycled, with 87% of it winding up in landfills. More than 34 million plastic bags a day were thrown away by our neighbors up to the north, and it can take as long as a millennium for them to decay. Not only is this problematic for the environment, but the marine ecosystem and wildlife as well, as many whales have washed ashore dead with plastics in their stomachs. Plastic manufacturing is a lucrative business in Canada, very lucrative, producing billions in revenue while employing almost 100,000 people, while recycling dwarfs in comparison, generating only millions with about 500 employees. New strategies will hopefully generate more jobs in recycling and reduce greenhouse gases as they attempt to, quote, take a science-based approach. In Beverly Hills, the city council voted unanimously to ban the sight of tobacco products, which will take effect on January 1st, 2021. They are the first city ever to pass such a sweeping ban on the substance. There will be some exemptions, including cigar bars, which already exist, hotels, and perhaps even certain retailers if they can demonstrate the ban would cause them undue hardship. Thomas Briant, the executive director of the National Association of Tobacco Outlets, claims that this is likely to cause many convenience stores to close, as tobacco sales account for more than 1/3 of their gross sales. According to the city council, the public health benefits outweigh the loss in profits. Now, I know we spoke about this briefly earlier, but Mike, Mel, how do you feel about ice cream?
Like spiritually, or are we just mean like in general?
Does ice cream really exist?
Of course.
Of course it does. And what's your favorite flavors?
Superman.
And
Moose Tracks.
Mackinac
Okay.
Island Fudge.
Superman. See, that's how you know we're from Michigan.
Right? Mackinac Island Fudge and Superman. That's how you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, using a list of ice cream shops' most popular flavors and cross-referencing that with the volume of searches per flavor on Google, WorkWise software back in May compiled a list of the country's favorite ice cream flavors per state. And that's including Washington, D.C. as a separate entity, despite it not actually being a state. And I've compiled a list. But every time there is a list and I attempt to get you guys to name what is on the list or in what order, you fail miserably at it.
That is true. That is true.
So instead of having you guess what is where, all I want you guys to do is each give me one guess as to what you think is the most popular ice cream in this country.
Oh, in the country?
Shit.
What do you think is the most popular ice cream flavor
Chocolate.
in the country?
Vanilla.
Okay, well, Mike, you are the closest.
Okay.
Because this has all been separated by the 50 states and, of course, D.C.
Uh-huh.
But if you want to know what was the number one most favorite ice cream according to this research, cookies and cream.
What?
Okay, I can see that.
What?
Cookies and cream is good.
14 states.
Wow. I feel like
In 14 states, cookies and cream was the most popular ice cream.
I like cookies and cream.
well, the reason I mean, I don't know what your reasoning was for chocolate, but the reason I went with vanilla is because it's like the standard ice cream. It's like any sundae you get is vanilla, you know, like most ice cream cones are vanilla cones. So it's like vanilla is like the go-to. I mean, I don't know anyone that doesn't like vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, if you want to break it down, vanilla does come in number 2. See,
Okay.
14 states chose cookies and cream. 5 chose vanilla. And when it comes to chocolate, there was a 3-way tie that's part of chocolate, peppermint, and strawberry.
Peppermint.
Each have 4 states.
Ugh.
Peppermint, yes. You think that's weird?
That's nasty.
3 states chose a flavor I did not know exists. Coconut milk.
Yes! Oh my god, coconut milk ice cream is so
What the
good.
fuck is that?
It tastes like heaven in your freaking mouth, okay? It's amazing.
I guess.
Okay, well, 2 states chose mango.
Okay.
Ew.
And there is a 15-way tie between the 14 other states and the District of Columbia.
With what?
Well, we're going to list these off right here. You tell me if you've ever heard of these before.
Okay.
Okay.
Beer.
Nope.
Nope.
Butter pecan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Pecan.
Cherry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chocolate chip cookie dough.
Yes.
Chocolate chip cookie dough.
Chocolate chip.
Yes.
Cotton candy.
Yes.
The coffee thing, dulce de leche, or whatever that's
Dulce
called.
de leche? That's not.
Do-
It's
yeah,
caramel, not
dulce
coffee.
de la douche,
I
whatever it
don't
is.
know.
Fucking
I've
gross
never had
coffee.
it.
It's caramel flavored.
Yeah.
Mint chocolate
Yep.
chip.
Yeah.
Pumpkin.
Yep.
Nope.
Rocky Road.
Rocky Road.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't know how to pronounce this. Stracciatella?
Oh yeah,
Stracciatella?
yeah. I've heard of that. It's that weird Italian ice cream thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heard it. Never had it.
Okay.
It's got like weird shit in it.
Tea berry.
Tea berry.
Tea berry.
That sounds good.
I thought you said teabag.
I need some
From
tea
Ben and
berry.
Jerry's.
It might taste like that for all I know.
Yeah.
That is Pennsylvania, by the way, that chose tea bag or tea berry.
I'd try it.
You would try.
Tiger tail.
Tiger tail.
Ugh.
Never heard
Tiger
of that
tail.
one.
Tutti Frutti.
Yes, that one's gross.
And then, of course, what do you think won Michigan?
Superman.
Superman ice cream. Shout out.
It,
But they took this poll one step further. Well, it wasn't really a poll, but they took the research one step further. If you want to take the 2 main basic original flavors of ice cream, which you guys probably already aware of, are chocolate and vanilla.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Which one do you think won?
chocolate.
I'm still sticking with vanilla.
All right. Well, of course, Mel wins by a fucking landslide. It was almost 2-1.
Wow.
That's because vanilla is basic.
Well, yeah, but again, that's the staple ice cream. If they got rid of every ice cream flavor in the world, except one, vanilla would be the one to stay.
Nah.
Apparently cookies and cream, but which still is vanilla based, so there's just some fucking cookies crushed up in
Now
that
you
shit.
got me wanting some pumpkin ice cream, Ben.
Cookies and cream.
Oh.
I need it because you know that I'm a fiend.
I just listened to that song the other day.
And why it was almost 2-1 is that of all the searches in all the states and DC, 32 states and DC went chocolate, 18 went vanilla.
Damn.
See, even ice cream I can't.
I feel like it's a stigma. See?
Vanilla is basic. Now, see, when I was younger, though, I loved chocolate. But as I've gotten older, I prefer vanilla.
See, it's all a part of that white genocide. See, they've been trying to tell us for years. The far right's been trying to tell you white genocide. They don't like white people or ice cream. All this dark ice cream trying to come in and take our country over. No, okay.
Okay, now when it comes to Michigan, do you think Michigan went for chocolate or vanilla?
Well, shit. Just based off of that, I would say chocolate, but I'm still sticking with vanilla.
I think Michigan is probably vanilla.
We like fucking Superman. Of course, we went chocolate.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And for those of you out there who don't live in Michigan, if you've never had Superman ice cream, you should.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
good.
like 3 flavors put together, but not like Neapolitan. It's
Neapolitan is garbage.
Neapolitan's just basic garbage.
I noticed that wasn't on the list.
I'm glad with that.
Yeah.
No, Neapolitan was not. However, of course, chocolate, vanilla, and
Strawberry.
Actually, strawberry was.
Yeah.
But not Neapolitan altogether. But then again, I don't think Neapolitan would qualify since it's technically
3 ice
in
creams
one.
in one.
Despite the fact
Look,
that
if cookies and
Superman
cream
has
is on
Blue
there,
Moon-
goddamn it, then Neapolitan should have counted.
Yeah,
Now, I'm not making a case for
Superman
Neapolitan, but
is Blue Moon and banana and fruit punch. If you've ever wondered what the Superman flavors are, which I have. Blue Moon's another Michigan flavor.
Yeah, but what you need to do is take a poll and ask residents of our great state what Superman is made out of. You might get one right answer.
yeah.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
I'll say the fact that you knew that, I was surprised. I was like, shit. I got to take your word for it because I didn't know. I'm like, yep, sounds legit.
I am a connoisseur of ice cream. It's probably why I'm a fluffy girl.
There's a good chance I'm going to go get some ice cream tonight.
Shit,
now.
me too. There's a little store down the road. I'm going.
Yeah, say all this ice cream talk, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to say you're not going to wait till you get back into town?
No, there's a place down here, down the road from Mike's house.
No, she's like, I mean,
that I'm gonna go get an ice cream because
Okay.
you can get a big, massive scoop for like $2.
Where?
The little gas station across from, like, right where the Rallies is.
Oh, okay.
They have an ice cream counter in there.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
you
yeah,
get-
yeah.
You get like a single scoop.
Yeah,
and
the
it's like
Conleys.
this much.
Yeah.
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 It's great.
They're like, we don't give a fuck
Oh
about
my
this.
goodness.
Okay. All right.
And I hope everybody that listens to this is hungry too.
Yes.
If you weren't before, you
You're
will be
welcome.
now.
Dick jokes and ice cream sounds like a good night for me.
Pralines and dick.
Yes, you made a Wayne's World reference.
Uh,
Oh, that made my night. Thank you.
that was good.
I just want to say, if this is the last installment of the Wabbit Hole, Francine, I love you.
Aw.
Francine, he wants to make love to you. Don't let him fool you.
I don't know how that would work.
It'd be like
VR, maybe. It'd be
Yeah.
like that movie Her with
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix and
Mm-hmm.
Scarlett Johansson. So I just put my dick in this hard drive.
It'd be like the Big Bang Theory where they have the little mouth stands. Oh, you don't watch Big Bang Theory. Anyways,
Nope.
You know, there actually was a Canadian film, it's a comedy film, where a guy does fuck PC towers.
Oh,
I think I've heard of that.
He's like,
Yeah.
put my dick in this cooling fan. Like, okay, if you want to. I mean, I would advise against it. Okay, all right.
And now back to your regularly scheduled podcast. How the fuck is Colorado the only state to choose Rocky Road? It's chocolate ice cream with nuts and marshmallows. It's fucking delicious.
It's that time again for America's #1 show, Dumb Shit of the Week. That's right, Dumb Shit of the Week is the show where DJ Melly Mel finds dumb shit and we talk about it. Want your submission on the show? Find us on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks, or you can email us at officialoglfg@gmail.com. Now here's your host, DJ Melly Mel.
Thank you. All right, so, dumb shit of the week is usually something that plops in my lap around Thursday night,
Okay.
give or take. Mostly it happens pretty early in our week reset, because our weeks go from Tuesday to Tuesday,
Sure.
since we record on Tuesdays.
Mhm.
This week I had a plethora of dumb shit topics, and I really had to weed them out and pick between 3 of the worst. So I just picked the worst of the dumb shit.
Worst of the worst.
The worst of the worst.
Shittiest of the dumb shits.
Yes, if you will.
Mhm.
Now, the source is a little iffy.
Okay.
It came from Twitter, so I mean,
Okay.
we can't always believe everything that comes from
The
Twitter.
internet has never lied to me about anything.
Yes. But digging into it a little more,
Mhm.
there is more to it before Twitter.
Okay.
So bear with me and just be known that I tried to back this up as much as I could.
Okay.
The article says, and I'm getting this from Vice.com. Again,
Okay.
The original was from Twitter, so take that as you may.
Okay.
Vice is reputable.
Okay, please don't use a vacuum cleaner to end your period early.
What the fuck?
We spoke to a gynecologist about menstrual extractions.
What the fuck? That's a thing?
Apparently.
Man, y'all women just doing weird shit with your vaginas.
Well,
Like,
I was going to say, there was a time where people were sticking their dicks in vacuum cleaner hoses. So, I guess, it's their turn now.
I guess. There was a tweet put out that says, ladies, please stop using your vacuum hose to end your period early. You're going to wind up sucking out a lot more than just blood. There were 2 cases of this so far this week, and both women had to be admitted. Just
This
stop.
week? God damn. Like, how does this... Okay, go ahead.
So this nurse took to Twitter to advise women to stop sucking their period blood out with their vagina. And it goes on to say, this 20-minute procedure can keep you period-free until the next cycle. What would you do to get this procedure? Yeah, no, don't do this. This is bad.
Wait, so they would put a hose in their vagina for 20 minutes?
Apparently they would let it just suck everything out.
What are you
for 20
doing in
minutes.
that 20 minutes is what I wonder. It's like, playing
Scrolling
Candy Crush on my
Facebook.
phone. Right,
Yeah,
right.
there you go. It
hashtag
says,
winning.
2 women have been admitted to the hospital where this nurse works after going into shock because they used a vacuum hose to end their periods early.
Jesus.
Now, this sounds quite made up, as it could be, because it's just a viral tweet, not a medical paper, but menstrual extraction really was once a thing. Originally intended for women who are unable to have legal access to abortions in the 70s, the process involved a syringe which pumped the contents into your uterus, and then they were sucked out via vacuum cleaner. And
that's a back alley abortion.
This is kind of replacing the medical equipment that is used with a vacuum cleaner. I don't know what to say to this. I thought that I've heard it all between the garlic in the vagina and the bee wasp things in the vagina. Stop putting things in your vagina that don't belong there.
Well, to be fair, I guess they're trying to take stuff out, but yeah.
Okay, a vacuum.
I know
a vacuum cleaner
hose,
has the ability to hold a bowling ball.
Yeah.
The suction from a vacuum can hold a bowling ball. You really want it to pull your uterus and your insides out.
Suck your whole ovaries right out.
The article goes on.
Oh,
to say
you know what? That could be like the new day after pill. You know, it's like, hey, you get done fucking, you just suck that cum right on out. It's just like, you ain't got to worry about getting pregnant. Pull the egg right on out with it. Just
no.
I'm not going to encourage this. I'm sorry.
Please don't, because there are people. They had a
girl, it's okay. I ain't got to pull out. Get the vacuum cleaner. It's all good. Just keep it on standby.
One Giant Leap for Geeks does not condone sucking anything from your vagina with a vacuum cleaner.
No.
Like, using a vacuum cleaner is so unsafe. You literally use it to suck up dirt.
Yeah.
And
you clean it off, you know. Just wipe it off, rinse it out. It's all good. You know what? You need to open your mind, Mel, is what the problem is.
Hell no.
They own some next level shit right now.
Okay, well, when they're sitting there and their uterus is in the vacuum cleaner because they can't get it off fast enough.
Just suck your whole pussy inside out.
I will sit calmly on this side and call them medical attention as I laugh.
Oh, it'll be like your lips and everything just get like sucked out.
Like you could get infection. You could cause internal bleeding. Again, a vacuum cleaner is strong enough to suction a bowling ball. Those things are heavy. 10 pounds, average bowling ball. No.
Yeah.
No.
10 pounds is the average bowling ball.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't bowl enough. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't believe that.
I bowl with a 10-pound ball.
Yeah, but is that the average?
I bowl with 15s and 16s.
Well, I mean, somewhere in between.
Well, you got
some
the
people
15s
use
and 16s, and then you got the people that use the 2s, so...
Yeah, somewhere in the middle.
Oh my
8
god.
to 10.
Vacuums. Strong enough for a bowling ball, but made for...
Right. You know what's funny, though, is that they're... in the same token, though, I just got done saying at the beginning of this how there was a time, and I mean, shit, there might still be people that do it now, where dudes are sticking their dicks in the vacuum cleaner.
It was
hoses,
popular in the 90s for some reason.
So, I mean, hey, you know, I guess they figure, well, if it didn't rip their dick off, then I'm sure, you know, I can pull some period blood out. It'd be fine.
That's not how this works.
No.
That's not how any of this works.
I was always curious. I'm like, can you really come from that? A vacuum cleaner hose?
I mean,
like, would
the suction up? Maybe
it's just flapping in there, and it's just like, this is good enough. Like, whatever,
well,
you know, I'll get off
from
from
this.
this.
Probably be hard.
Yeah, I guess
if you put the vacuum on your penis, it's gonna suck the blood.
I don't know.
It would have the same effect.
I need to know the science behind it.
I would say it would have the same effect as a penis pump.
Where's my vacuum cleaner? We're going to put this to the test. I need to know how this works.
Oh my God.
No, I mean, but legitimately, though, if you're not going to use it for your period, if nothing else, day after pill.
No.
Guaranteed to work.
No.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed to send your ass to the hospital.
Mike C. Squared promises you.
Don't listen to
Mike
Mike C. Squared.
Right here on One Giant Leap
He
for
is
Geeks.
not a medical
first,
doctor, for the love of God.
I'm pretty sure the pull-out method's like 99.9% effective.
Actually, it's only 65% effective.
I was going to say, that's if you don't pre-cum.
Pre-cum can't get you pregnant.
It can.
You can't get pregnant if you're upside down. You can't get pregnant if you're in a hot tub underwater.
Okay. You guys are spewing a whole bunch of sexual nonsense to a bunch of people that may or may not be listening to our show.
You can't get pregnant if you don't want to. The ladies have body protection for that.
Exactly. If you will it to not happen, you can just not get pregnant.
Exactly.
I'm done.
If you squeeze his balls,
I'm done.
Right when he's coming.
Like, y'all got hair scrunchies. Just put a rubber band around his testicles.
Exactly. Yeah. It just...
tighten
just
that
right after
scrotum.
he comes, you open your legs up and open your vag and let the air expose to it, and it'll die in the air. It'll be fine.
This is why women should always swallow.
Hey, that is the number one guaranteed birth control right there.
Your stomach acid will dissolve the semen.
Exactly. I'm sorry, we broke Mel. But I mean, if you are looking to start a new entrepreneurial business, you can have one of those little infomercials like ShamWow and Slap Chop and shit like that. Yeah.
Slap Chop.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Slap wow, sham
Yeah,
chop.
all that shit. Oh.
The red copper thing with the red-headed lady.
Yeah, exactly. Hell yeah. The new fidget spinners.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Okay, so what we've learned this week, don't stick vacuum cleaners in your vaginas or on your penis for that matter, and don't seek out Mike C. Squared and Benwah for sexual advice because everything that they listed is very, very, very bad advice.
Hey, I know how to have sex good. I know how to have sex right. I've gotten off it.
Right. I have
'cause
never
that's
left
what's
disappointed.
important.
I have never left. I'm happy.
Shit, I've left some sexual encounters very disappointed, so...
Well,
maybe
maybe
you're
you need
doing
to
it
get a
wrong.
vacuum
Did you ever
next
think about that? Yeah.
When I was...
You need some
Yeah.
vacuum.
Yeah,
you
when
need
I was
some,
the only one that was doing
garlic.
anything. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You need some Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Some
All
lemons.
right. Now my stomach's turning. Okay.
Y'all are ridiculous.
Okay.
Some haggis.
I'm done.
Ugh.
I'm done. So yeah, stay smart, kids. Don't stick vacuum cleaners in or on your sexual organs because that can cause danger, bleeding internally, whatever, bacteria, infections. Nobody needs to worry about that. So yeah, we're not going to do that. Stay smart, people. And don't listen to Mike and Ben about sex advice. If you would like to find me on Twitter, I am at Froggy Beaver. If you have any other bad suggestions for sexual advice, you can shoot those to Ben and Mike because I don't want to hear them.
I don't believe anything I read on Twitter.
Yeah, don't believe things you read on Twitter. But I guess it's like every other social media platform. It's just garbage.
Brought to you by our latest sponsor.
right. Like Dyson has sponsored this podcast.
Oh
Thank
my
you, Dirt
God.
Devil.
I'm starting to wonder if this is Mel's way of trying to tell us something. These stories have a similar pattern regarding putting foreign objects in your vagina. I'm just saying.
So a little thing happened over the weekend. Don't know if any of you may have actually heard about it. Just a little, get together of, some companies. No big deal.
Mm-hmm.
E3 happened over the weekend, and it was interesting. There were some highs, there were some lows. There was a lot of things that got revealed. Some things for the first time. Some things that had been rumored to be and kind of had some leaks beforehand that we finally got a little bit more information on. Other things that we thought might be there did not show up at all. We are going to try and cover a good chunk of it, but there is no way we're going to be able to get through everything that got announced and or released at E3 today. But these are going to be just some of the highlights, some of the things that I thought were interesting or important that I wanted to talk about. And so we're going to dissect, what was said and give our thoughts about what's coming out and, try and give you the 411, so to speak, the real talk about.
None of that fake news.
Yeah. None of that corporate shill, fake news journalist bullshit. We giving you the real here. Okay. So first up, Xbox announced the next console that they're making. It's still, we don't have an official name for it yet, but it is going under the working, title Project Scarlett.
Mm-hmm.
And not Johansson.
No.
Not her. But that would be dope as shit.
Honestly, she is working on a new project.
Oh, Project Scarlett Johansson.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, okay. But just to give you a little bit of rundown of the specs that they announced, I'm getting this from Forbes. It's getting a custom chip based off of AMD's Zen 2 technology, and Microsoft says that it will allow for 8K visuals
Jesus.
and up to 120 frames per second. It will also support hardware accelerated real-time ray tracing, which feels like it's going to be a definitive graphics technology for the upcoming generation. Microsoft says Scarlett will be 4 times as powerful as the Xbox One X. It is also going to have a SSD hard drive, and an SSD is an advanced kind of hard drive that can dramatically reduce load times, and it's one of the best ways to improve your overall gaming experience without messing around with a graphics card. So, that's all we know so far.
That sounds dope as hell.
But the way it sounds like, and even with the PS5 or whatever they're going to call it, PS Panther or whatever the fuck, that would be dope. They need to come out with some boss-ass names for these new consoles. Right. Drop the numbers and just start making it like the Xbox Anaconda or something, like the Cockbox, something just...
the Xbox.
Right.
The X-Men box.
Oh, the Cockbox. That's what I call my vacuum.
Exactly. No, it seems like both Sony and Microsoft... because we're not going to completely switch over to cloud gaming yet. I mean, Stadia is coming out. Mm-hmm. Apple has their shit. Even Bethesda announced they're going to have a game streaming service as well. And the Project Scarlett does have some cloud gaming capabilities as well, but they're not completely getting rid of disk drives and all that stuff just yet. But a lot of it seems to be geared towards trying to make a seamless gaming experience to where there are no load screens, there's nothing, like you install the game and then you just go.
Right.
Like there is no transitions between anything. It's just a seamless, continuous gaming experience from start to finish.
It's going to be interesting if they can pull it off.
It would be dope as shit. It would definitely change the entire gaming landscape. I don't even know if even cloud gaming could even do that.
I don't know, because it still has to buffer.
Yeah, well, because it'll depend on your bandwidth speeds and all that kind of stuff, and not only that, but how much the network can handle. Because it depends. I mean, it's Google, so I'm sure that they got the infrastructure to probably support millions of people using it at one time. But I don't know, what Benwah, what do you think about this? Are these specs? Now, I know you kind of dabble in both PC and console gaming, more so than I do, definitely PC.
And way more than I do.
Yeah, so is this something where, do you feel like it's still, consoles are still trying to play catch up with PC, or do you think that they may have finally got an edge up with this next generation?
Oh, no, they definitely do not have an edge up. If anything, they're closer than ever. But PC is always it's going to sound all like PC Master Race, but technologically, PCs are always going to be superior because they're going to be updated a lot faster than a physical console.
Oh, yeah.
And when you tend to have your own custom-built PCs, you can always upgrade them on the fly, assuming your motherboard can handle all that. Whereas, basically, it's like when you buy a video game console, everything is already integrated.
Yep.
You get what you pay for. Yep. When you buy a PC, you can Frankenstein it, pull it apart, test new things, throw new things in there. And for that reason, consoles will theoretically never be as powerful theoretically never be as powerful as a PC for long.
Right.
And plus, when it comes to consoles, companies... it's probably always going to be this way, but historically, companies lost money on their consoles. They make money on the license from games they sell for that.
Oh, yeah.
And so, at the end of the day, these consoles, they're never going to want to sell them at such a loss that they'll be on equal footing as a PC.
Yeah.
Because that would be a very huge financial risk, especially when every 5 to 7 years... that generation is just completely outdated, given the exponential improvement of future consoles.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, just the fact that they said that this is going to be 4 times as powerful as the last Xbox is, a giant leap, in performance, so no pun intended. In performance.
And inevitably,
geeks,
you might think it's always going to get better, but at some point, it's going to end up plateauing.
Oh, yeah, because it's...
And they're not going to have...
Go ahead.
And they're not going to have the continuous means to improve upon it. Whereas with PCs, it's a lot easier to do that.
Yeah. That's why. I mean, I don't know if this will be the last console generation or if this will be the, second, third to last. But I give it a couple more generations tops, and we're probably going to be fully into cloud gaming by that point. Like once it becomes more mainstream.
Eventually, tangible physical formats are going to become obsolete.
Yeah,
That's so
unless
sad.
they're become more of a niche.
Yeah.
In the marketplace.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't like.
Me neither.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because and Microsoft and Sony are stupid. Like they're being smart about it, and they're like, hey, we're gonna slowly start integrating this stuff. Like Stadia is gonna come out, like the hardcore, first, people out of the gate are gonna jump on it, but it'll be a while before, it'll become fully mainstream and accepted by most, of the general population.
Mm-hmm.
But they are making plans for, okay, what are we going to do to try and combat this? Because eventually that's where this is all going. So it's interesting. I'm really, curious to see what Sony's going to end up announcing for their console. But so far, I'm like, Xbox, they coming out the gate strong. Like, they're not bullshitting. So do you think, who do you think will win this console generation, even without knowing anything that Sony's come out with yet? Do you think that Xbox is in a better place than they were last generation when they were like, it's an entertainment console and it kind of plays video games?
At this stage, it's way too early to tell, and I'm not going to make a prediction. If anything, a big factor might become game exclusivity. But then again, that may become a moot point once Stadia launches. Because what's the point of having games only made for one console when you can play virtually any game through them?
Exactly.
But one thing that I don't know if you glossed over it or just missed it, but whether or not Project Scarlett is actually 2 consoles or just the next gen singular one, they have announced that it will have a disc drive and it will support all Xbox One games and accessories.
Yes.
So it will be backwards compatible,
Yep.
which is something that I think will help prevent the physical format from dying out, because there's so many great games out there that are older now, and it began back, with the Xbox 360 and like the Nintendo Wii. Until these companies can somehow find a way to emulate all their games to where they can still make a profit off them, there will still be that need to have backwards compatibility so that those previous games still become dead.
Right.
Because, they're always still trying to make money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If anywhere that they can, they will.
And so because of that, I don't think we will transfer to being completely obsolete with the physical format yet, although I do see the business going that way.
I agree.
At some point.
I agree.
Oh, but also it's going to come out in, actually, I believe it's going to be coming out, they say holiday of 2020?
Yeah.
I think it's more like the fall.
Yeah, yeah.
I would think like September, October, but it probably wouldn't hurt to come out around Christmas time.
Yeah, what they would consider.
I would say probably after Labor Day, but before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's possible, but it's going to be powerful. That's all we really know is, ooh, it's going to be powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
ooh. Like we didn't, like who the fuck thought it wouldn't be?
Right. Like they putting a big dick on the table this time.
Don't just tout the specs. Give me some demos, something.
Yeah, but they're still a year out, though. I mean, they got time to get it together. I mean, this is just them kind of planting a flag and saying, like, hey, like, we listened. And I mean, I believe Phil Spencer even came out and said, like, hey, like, we listened, like, a gaming console should be designed around and, optimized for one thing, games. Like, they fucked up with the Xbox One when they were like, oh, and it has ESPN, and you can do this, and these multi-screen TVs and all this shit. And it's just like, nobody gave a shit about that. It was like, yeah, but what about the games? They're like, yeah, we'll get to that. But look at this NFL shit over here. And it's like, okay. And that turned a lot of people off the Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
Well, since E3 happens in June every year, I'm sure by next year they're probably priming for next year to release like a whole bunch of content to show us.
So, yeah. They'll have a whole slate going.
Put up or shut up, because people are going to remember what they've said this year.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So now they've been talking a big game, they got to bring it.
Agreed. So for the next thing, Square Enix, they had a presentation of, and they showed a bunch of shit, but two of the biggest things that I want to hit on first is we got another look at Final Fantasy VII, or the Final Fantasy VII Remake, I should say. Getting this from GameSpot, Square Enix E3 press conference kicked off with an extended look at the Final Fantasy VII Remake for PS4. The publisher gave us an overview of the game's revamped combat system, which mixes real-time action with the active time battle system. We also learned that the game will be quite massive, featuring 2 Blu-ray discs worth of gameplay content. We don't yet know exactly why it will require such a large amount of storage. Square Enix had previously said the Final Fantasy VII Remake would be multiple parts, but it wasn't clear exactly what that meant. However, the first game, disc maybe, will be set in the eclectic city of Midgar and presents a fully standalone gaming experience, according to a press release, effectively expanding on the first leg of the original game. Square Enix also unveiled 2 new special editions for the game, including a $330 First Class edition.
Jesus.
All of this comes on the heels of Sunday night's announcement of a March 2020 release date. So, first off, question. DJ Melly Mel, are you an RPG fan?
Not really.
No, not really?
Not really.
All right.
I mean...
So then it's a moot point to ask if you're a Final Fantasy fan.
I'm really not. I've seen the gameplay before.
Sure.
My best friend actually is big into Final Fantasy, and I'm sure she's very excited about the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll know who she is when she hears us, because she's an avid listener.
Awesome.
Shout out to you. But yeah, I didn't really get into it.
Okay.
For one reason or another, I guess. I like more of like simple story modes, I guess.
Sure. I'm an RPG fan,
I don't
but
like
I get it.
The video games where you have to do, follow the whole storyline and do this and do this and do this. I want to play video games just to basically numb myself. So I want things that don't require.
Yeah, you like it to be more linear.
I want it to think like more puzzle as opposed to adventure.
Yeah. You don't want to invest too much amount of energy and thought into. Right. You just want to play it for escapism. I want it to be able
to take me away in more puzzle. Like I said, I like a lot of puzzle type games.
No, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, not everybody is in RPG games. I mean, I think it takes a certain type of person to like RPGs to begin with, and I think it also takes a certain type of person to be able to invest the time and energy into RPGs.
I've noticed, like, a lot of people that like RPG games, they enjoy being somebody else.
Yeah, I can see that, because you do invest a lot into the character, because you spend so much time.
Yeah.
In these games, so I get it.
Like I said, I've seen people play RPG games, and they really get into it.
Yeah.
They enjoy, all the customizations you can do to a character, all the different story plots, they enjoy all those things. And I've never been one that really enjoys doing anything that makes me not me, even for, short amount of time on the game or whatever.
Sure.
It's not my style.
Okay. All right. It's okay to be wrong. It's fine. No, I'm just fucking with you.
I didn't say wrong. I just said different.
No. I got you. So, what about you, Benwah? Like, what do you feel about the what they've shown, especially as far as the gameplay mechanics with the remake?
Well, first off, I want to say that I agree with you. Mel is wrong. Secondly, I think it looked really good. However, it's I love RPGs, and I mean, I mentioned I've been playing Final Fantasy for a while now, recently. I mean, it looks good, but every time they remake or do something spin-off of FF7, it's like you're beating a dead horse. However, in this case, I think it may pan out pretty well for them because it looks good.
Yeah.
Now, unlike the previous game where it has an ATB gauge and it's wow, I'm having a fucking brain fart here. It's going to be more of an action RPG oriented game. Now, they are going to have ATBs, which allow you to change modes to make it somewhat reminiscent of the original game in the active time battles. But being able to swap between the characters at will seems nice. But it's weird to me because I'm going to want to play it just to get a feel for it, but I know it's not going to feel like the Final Fantasy VII I grew up with. And maybe now I'm that old guy that doesn't seem to like change, but
I think we're all there, Ben.
Yeah.
That's not what really concerns me, though. What really concerns me is that it's going to be episodic. Now,
yes,
they even said Midgar is going to be like its own separate game, so that makes me wonder. It's probably going to be like a couple Blu-rays big. So one, will every game be priced as if it was a full price game?
Yes.
Will like every episode be $50 to $60? Mm-hmm. Will each episode of this game feel like the same game in the same world, in the same universe? Or will every game be a little bit different so it feels like its own separate thing? Like, is it going to be played out to where if they weren't Final Fantasy games, you wouldn't know they were Final Fantasy? That's what I'm concerned with.
I will echo that statement. My two main concerns are, well, I'll repeat what you said. One, I really like the fact that it's not just going to be a straight up hack and slash. Like, they are combining, the ATB system with, like, kind of a hack and slash element, so you can have a little bit of both. I love the fact that you can jump between characters at will. I like they're still trying to incorporate elements of the original game, but still make it modern to what Final Fantasy is. People who play, Final Fantasy expect from those kind of games today. But my concerns are with it being episodic. Like, because it says that it's 2 Blu-ray discs worth of content. Is that period, or is that just for episode 1? And
I'm thinking that's episode 1.
And then if that's the case, how many of these are they going to release before we get to the end of this? It's like, is it going to be like an ongoing thing over like the course of 3 years before we can actually finish the actual game? And like you said, are they going to expect me to shell out $60 every, few months or once a year or whatever until this is finished? Like, that's crazy. And like, for example, with this whole $330, special first class edition, is that paying for just that one episode, or is this paying for everything that's going to come out down the road?
Exactly. Are you going to get like a bulk deal where if you just drop $300, you're going to get everything? And if that's the case, they're cutting you a deal on it, which means that at the end, all these games and whatever content is going to be over $300.
Right. That's pretty crazy.
And I'm sorry, it's one thing if over time a franchise, you can sell multiple games that end up being over 300 when you put them all together. But this is technically one game.
Yeah. I feel like this is their version of a free-to-play service that has constant updates that you pay into. You know what I mean? Like with microtransactions, that kind of stuff. So instead of them doing that, they're like, hey, if we just draw this out, because at this point, video game, developers, or at least the companies they're in the business of the long term. Like, this is a marathon and not a sprint. So they want you to be invested in this for as long as they can keep you invested in it. So in their mind, they're probably thinking like, oh, we can piecemeal this shit for the next like 5 years and just milk this game to death. Mm-hmm. And talking about beating a dead horse, they're probably like, by the time we're done with this shit, no one's gonna ever want to see Cloud or Sephiroth or fucking Tifa or anybody from this franchise ever fucking again.
It's gonna be like the Fast and the Furious of video games.
Pretty much is kind of what I feel like they're gonna do. Because I mean, Midgar in the original game, that is a very small section. That is like basically tantamount to like the tutorial of the game. That's just like the opening, act or so. Like, not even a full act, really, compared to the rest of the game. You don't spend that much time there.
Right.
So, for them to make this into 2 Blu-rays worth of content, like, Jesus Christ.
They're going to be examining every little teeny tiny thing, counting every step that you take.
Pretty much. But the cool thing about it, though, is that it's not just a remake. They're reimagining it. So they're adding stuff to it that wasn't there before. They're fleshing out stuff more than it was. So it won't just be beat for beat we're just redoing it again.
Right.
They're like, we're doing it, but it's going to be different this time. So there's going to be stuff that are surprises and things that you won't expect and different, the overall plot still has to be the same because if not, then it's not Final Fantasy VII. But
Right.
there's a lot of in-between shit that they can add on to. So that I am looking forward to. Like, it was a bittersweet announcement. Like, there was a lot of stuff that I saw that I was happy about. Like, that whole battle that they showed in the gameplay footage, I was like, okay, this is dope. But then at the same time, there was other things where I was like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about practically how they're going to roll this out.
Right.
Those are where my main concerns are. The game itself, though, I'm totally happy with what I see. It's just, how is this going to work as far as, price points and how much time they're going to milk this for? That's what I'm worried about. Oh, and shout out to...
This is falling under this... Oh, shout out. Shout them out.
Yeah, I was going to say, shout out to Tifa. Everybody was bitching and moaning about Tifa, and I was like, okay, they did her justice. She was out there whooping ass, and she looked sexy, and I was like, okay, we good. We good now. I ain't gonna be mad no more. We good.
So this is falling under the same vein as Hollywood when it comes to movies.
I knew you were going to compare that.
I have no choice. It's the same fucking thing. And I don't want any company to do bad. I want the game to be good. But it's no longer going to be Final Fantasy VII. It's going to be a new game that claims it's Final Fantasy VII. Just milking that horse, man, or milking that cow.
Yeah.
It's the original Final Fantasy VII came out in 1997, okay?
Yep.
22 years later.
Yep.
Well, no, it'd be 23
Yeah,
because
by
it's
the time
probably
it
going to
comes
come
out,
out next.
yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ, guys.
That really makes me feel old.
Yeah. But at the same time, they're milking that nostalgia. It's like, as long as there's a audience for it, they're going to keep doing it.
So until we're all in our 60s and we no longer care about the video games.
Final Fantasy VII remake.
Remaking that remake.
It's back again, bitch.
Our grandkids
if this remake comes out and it's good, they're going to make a shit ton of money off it.
Oh, yeah.
Like Mike said, the original game is 3 discs.
Uh-huh.
Midgar is like half of the first disc.
Yep.
So how many episodes are there going to be? How many $50 or $60 discs are they going to sucker out of people to get a full-fledged Final Fantasy VII remake?
I don't know.
I can almost guarantee that this is going to be at least a 3+ year rollout for this game, like in its totality. I could see 5-6 years maybe.
See, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm cheap, but I would not.
Yeah,
I don't pay money like that for video games.
It's going to be the hardcore people who probably follow it all the way to the end. But again, no, people
do.
People ask for it, and I mean, look, they're not going.
Who asked for this?
Oh, there was a ton of people that's been saying to remake Final Fantasy VII back when they were first releasing the PS3, and they did a demo of just the opening cinematic of Final Fantasy VII, just to show.
I remember that.
Yeah, just to show like the hardware capabilities and what it would look like if it was on that system. People were shitting their pants, and ever since then they were like, remake Final Fantasy VII.
But that wasn't people asking for it. That was them testing the water to see if the people would want it.
Oh yeah.
They fucking dangled that carrot, and then those guys fucking ran towards it like a bunch of vegans.
I wonder if that's when they started making this game, though.
It's been in development for at least 3 or more years, so I could see.
You got like Crisis Core, you got the Final Fantasy VII movies. They've been,
yeah, they've been consistently putting out stuff related to Final Fantasy VII for the last I feel decade or so. So yeah. But so this will be coming out March of next year, so we'll see. We'll see what this first rollout is, and maybe we'll get some more announcements of what the other installments will be going forward from there. I'm not gonna shit on fucking Bethesda like some people have. Like I haven't played Fallout 76, so I have no dog in that fight. I'm not gonna get caught up in the whole Elder Scrolls shit because I've never played that either. So You know, I do love the Fallout games for the most part. I even like Fallout 4. I know some people complain about that one. I've not played 76, so I'm not even getting into that rabbit hole. But I did want to talk about Doom Eternal. So this one's coming from CNET, and they said that an extended gameplay demo of the Doom sequel showed off the fast-paced gameplay that the original championed. Doom Guy took out a big old demon, sliced a few baddies in the guts, and de-skinned a few heads. Doom Eternal also got a release date of November 22nd, 2019. The collector's edition comes with a Slayer helmet.
Ooh!
Yeah. An additional multiplayer mode was also announced, Battle Mode. It's a first-person fighter that pits one Slayer against two-player controlled demons in a fight to the death. None of this Mortal Kombat type stuff here. It's all guns and blood and glory. So I want to say off the bat, the gameplay for this was dope as shit. And this is what my complaint is about E3 in general every year. They announce a game and they stroke your dick with a bunch of trailers, and that's cool, but I want to see the gameplay.
Right.
What am I paying for? Because at the end of the day, the game almost never looks like the trailers.
Never.
And what you see is not indicative of what I'm actually going to be doing in the game.
Right.
So I want to see how the game plays. And they came out of the gate strong with this shit. Like, everything I loved about Doom was here, and it was like at 11. Like, it was like Doom on like steroids. Like, even more so than the 2016 Doom that came out.
Yeah.
Like, it was fast paced. I mean, like all the gun varieties. I mean, the monster types. It was just everything it needed to be. Like, there don't need to be a whole bunch of extra mechanics to make it overly complicated. It's like, you give the dude the gun, you go kill demons. Like, that's all I need is Doom. Like, I don't need it to be fucking, you know, no offense, Halo or some shit like that. I'm like, it's Doom. It's you killing demons in hell and shit. Like, just do that. So I'm happy. Like, they take my money. Like, I'm good. Doom is, yes, all that shit. What did you think about the gameplay for Doom Eternal, Mel?
I mean, it definitely looked like something I would actually play, which is...
See, I feel like that will be something more up your alley as
yeah.
opposed to Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I'm not... Like, I like the action sports games. I like blow shit up and drive cars, and so Doom is actually something I've played quite a few times in my past.
Okay.
Not any recent versions.
Sure.
But, I mean, this looked... I'm with you. I was pretty excited about this. I'd like to see a little more gameplay, but in due time.
Yeah. What about you, Benwah?
I remember playing Wolfenstein on an Apple. It's Doom. Let's go.
Right.
Let's do it. Let's fucking kill some demons.
And I mean, I don't know. Like, I think there's something to be said for simplicity in games sometimes as well, too. I mean,
sometimes.
I don't think everything needs to be this sprawling story with like all these different branching, you know, character choices and stuff like that. That's cool. I love games like that. Don't get me wrong, because I do like RPGs and stuff, and I do like, you know, games that your actions have an effect on the outcome of the ending. I like that kind of stuff, but at the same time, you know, I love just running gun, you know, shooters and shit like that too.
Sometimes you just want to blow shit up.
Yeah. And I mean, shit, I can't think of a better franchise for something like that, because it's like you're fighting demons in hell and shit with like space weapons and shit. It's like, yeah, like you cut fucking zombies in half with chainsaws. I mean, there's a part in the gameplay where he's like shooting that big brain thing, and he like gets in for like a melee kill, and he like rips one of its legs off and stabs it in the eye with its own leg, and I was just like, yes, like,
right,
like that is dope. Like,
I'm nodding as, you know, he's describing all of this.
Like, I don't know what else anybody, like, honestly, everyone that I've saw online talking about this was happy with it. I can't see how anybody would be upset with what they saw. Like, if you've played Doom once, like, you should be very pleased with what you saw during that gameplay.
Yep.
Like, period. Now, I didn't catch though. Is the collector's edition also coming out on November 22nd, or is it
yes.
just okay?
As far as I'm aware of, they both are coming out, and you get a cool helmet with it.
Yeah, I know. I was like, that witch is dope. I mean, I'm not like a collectible person per se, but I'm like, it looked cool. I was like, you know what? I would totally
you have your
put
share
that.
of collectibles.
Yeah. I'm like, I would put that up on my little mantle of my Funko Pop,
Your man
dolls
cave.
and shit like that. Yeah, hell yeah.
Put it in your man cave.
Yep. But this one is of all the ones that we've talked about, I think this is the closest one to coming out within, this year at least, because everything else is like 2020.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
at least this year.
Yeah, this will be this holiday season.
That'll be nice.
It's crazy that they dropping it on November 22nd. I'm like, that's right before Thanksgiving.
They're probably dropping it so they got Black Friday right there.
I know, but I'm like, you would think they'd at least want to be in stores for a couple of weeks beforehand. They said, no, hell no.
They dropping right for Black Friday because they know that the biggest shopping day of the year they're going to take advantage of.
Yeah. And then Cyber Monday is right after. So.
Yep, the 2 biggest shopping days of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that does make sense. I made a joke earlier, and when we were off mic, but 2019 is slowly starting to reveal itself to be the year of the Keanu Sans.
Yes.
Keanu Reeves is in like literally every fucking thing this year. Between John Wick 3, Toy Story 4, the Netflix movie Be My Always Maybe or something like that, and now Cyberpunk 2077.
And also he's been popping up at random weddings this year.
Oh yeah. Keanu Reeves, he is like on a mission to like be the most beloved human being on the face of this earth. And
I'd be all right with
that. It's working so far. I mean,
I told T Money he could pop up at our wedding. That would be like the dopest thing ever, especially if he,
Keanu Reeves can pop up at my wedding because then he would still assume that I would still want to marry A-Train at that point, and then be like, well, if you're here, Keanu, I got the ring. I mean, we can just go ahead and leave together now and just call it good.
Nah, I love you, baby, but sorry. Keanu.
And I love how every time you see him, he's still rocking his John Wick beard and haircut. He's just like, I'm just going to live in John Wick mode for the rest of my life, but then just still be this kind of goofy, like friendly guy in real life, but look like I would murder you in your sleep at the same time. It's a good dynamic.
Yeah, I like it.
That being said, though,
I say all this as T Money's walking in.
Right. We got a another trailer for Cyberpunk 2077, and I'm happy. Like I'm getting.
This struck like I thought this was a movie at first.
Yeah, like I'm getting a lot of Blade Runner vibes, like Total Recall, movies like that. Something else. Johnny Mnemonic, especially because Keanu's in that. But I guess Cyberpunk 2077 is actually a RPG game that is based off of a board game from the 80s.
Okay.
It's a tabletop RPG. It's like Shadowrun came out around the same time, but get rid of all the like fantasy shit.
Okay.
And then you got Cyberpunk.
Yeah. And it was Cyberpunk 2020, the tabletop
right.
game. And this is the video game is going to be 2077. And it's set 7 years later 57 years later in the dystopian Night City. California, an open world with 6 distinct regions. In a first-person perspective, players assume the role of the customizable mercenary V, who is our main person that we see. But in the first trailer that they show for the game, you're a woman.
Okay.
And you can decide, what sex you are and stuff like that. Who can reach prominence in 3 character classes by applying experience points to stat upgrades. V has an arsenal of ranged weapons and options for melee combat, which were those fucking giant blade things that came out his arm
Iron Man
and shit.
shields Iron Man knives that come out.
I was like, that shit was dope as hell.
It kind of reminds me of like Grand Theft Auto meets Iron Man meets Demolition Man. Y'all remember that movie?
Yeah, I could see that.
Love Demolition Man.
I could see that.
If you've probably never played Deus Ex.
No.
I have. Yeah.
Think of this can be a dated reference. Think of Steve Austin, the $6 Million Man, except he doesn't look fully human.
Oh yeah.
Or think of Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
Inspector Gadget
RoboCop.
is actually a really
RoboCop.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a real RoboCopy vibe to it.
Oh, yeah. Now, Cyberpunk is being developed by CD Projekt Red, an internal studio within CD Projekt, using the Red Engine 4 game engine. They launched a new division in some place that I can't pronounce, and partner with Digitalscapes to assist in production. Over 400 total staff members assisted in the game's development, exceeding the number that worked on the studio's previous game, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I don't know what role Keanu's playing in the game, but they made it a point to say that he is going to play a prominent role in the game. It's not just like a celebrity
just a
cameo. Yeah, where it's just like, hey, look who we got. You know, we threw Keanu Reeves in here randomly for no reason.
I love how much it really looks like him.
Oh, yeah, they did a really good job rendering
some
him.
of the video games where you're like, oh, well, that's supposed to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's supposed to be, Brad Pitt or whatever. They like the face is all distorted and whatever.
Think to a few years ago back when Norman Reedus was supposed to be in a Silent Hill game.
Yeah. Which that Death Stranding game that he's going to be in, they did a really good job rendering it. All the actors that they got for that one, though, look like real people and shit. Yeah. But again, it's one of those things where, like I said, this is not gameplay footage.
That's true.
It's a trailer.
That's true.
So the trailers always look cool, but again, that's not indicative of what the actual game is going to be like. But last year we did get a gameplay trailer, and from what I saw on that, it looks dope as shit. I mean, there's shit where it's hard for me to even describe where you can get in gun battles where you're shooting through walls at other things, and because they're all like cybernetically enhanced, you got like infrared and you can see through, the buildings and shit like that. So even if you can't physically see the person on the other side of the wall, you can go into like a different mode and shoot them through the wall because you can see their body heat signature. And I was just like, all that kind of shit where I'm like, okay, that's really cool.
That is really cool.
And like in the Witcher games, you can fuck people in the game, which is always a bonus.
That's important.
Oh, hell yeah. There was nudity and all kind of shit. And I was like, hey, look, if you're going to be in the future and have fucking robot limbs and all this shit, I want bionic dick, okay? I'm just
like Go-Go
putting that out
Gadget
there.
penis.
Yeah, exactly. Like
shooting somebody and fucking somebody at the same time.
Oh, it'd be like that movie Shoot 'Em Up.
And then vacuuming after you're done.
Exactly.
No!
Exactly. Yes, you vacuum out the semen, no pregnancy. Yep.
Oh my god.
Yep, it's all good.
Y'all let it go. Be like Frozen and let it go.
Oh, there's going to be a new song for Frozen, but that's for another
I'm
podcast.
I'm sure Disney's about to come, like, swallow our podcast now.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
The mouse is be like,
Yep.
No.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, fuck all that video game shit. What about that Frozen, though? But yeah, I didn't catch it when I was researching because I guess it got lost in the sauce somewhere. But did they give a release date for Cyberpunk?
Well, it's currently still a work in progress, but tentatively speaking, it will be debuting on April 16th, 2020.
Okay. So hopefully it don't get pushed back. But I'm one of those people where it's like, I don't mind if something gets pushed back if it comes out and it's done.
Right.
Like, please don't release a half-ass finished game.
Sonic.
Exactly, right. And they're like, oh, no, it's okay. We'll, in like a year from now, it'll be totally all good and everything will be ironed out. Like, just release it then when it's done. Because if you ask me to pay full price, I expect a full game.
Right. Or a movie.
But that's just me.
Me too. You're
Call
not
me
alone.
crazy. I don't know.
We're two in the same boat.
Yeah. But okay. This one was like a little sleeper. Like, I didn't know anything about this game. Like, literally
I hadn't heard
nothing.
Anything, no.
But apparently they're making a video game based off of the Blair Witch Project movie. And I was like, when I first heard it, the first thing I thought was, oh, they're just, ripping off the Jason game that came out a couple years ago because that was popular. But I was like, you know what? Maybe they could do something cool with this. So I'm getting this from Inverse.com. At a news-filled keynote on Sunday at E3, Microsoft revealed the trailer for Blair Witch, a survival horror video game that appears to use a unique gameplay device involving a VHS camcorder. 20 years after 1999's The Blair Witch Project, it's time to return to Black Hills Forest. The game is coming a lot sooner than you think. Blair Witch will be released on August 30th, so this is even
This
more
summer.
recent than November
Yeah.
of this year on Xbox One and PC. The date is just over a month past the 20th anniversary of the original film's release on July 14th, 1999. Blair Witch is a new entry to the saga that brings horror fans back to the infamous Black Hills Forest, developed by Polish studio Blooper Team, which I was just like,
who the hell is that?
right, Blooper Team made that Blair Witch game. The game takes place in September 1996 as players control Ellis, a former police officer with a troubled past who investigates the disappearance of a boy. Along with Ellis is a loyal German shepherd and a VHS camcorder, which, did y'all catch that the dog's name was Bullet?
Yeah.
I was like, who names their dog Bullet? I mean, that sounds cool. Yeah, I was going to say, get him, Bullet. Like, all right.
Better dodge the bullet.
Oh my God, Ben.
And a VHS camcorder which echoes the movies. It is unknown exactly how the camera works as a tool in the game, but it seems Ellis discovers footage of himself exploring the woods that are taped by a mysterious observer. As
what
the
if
game's
it's taped by Bullet?
It's the dog. as the game's official statement teases, what starts as an ordinary investigation soon turns into an endless nightmare as you confront your fears and the Blair Witch, a mysterious force that haunts the woods.
See, now this sounds like something I would play.
Okay.
Like, that sounds pretty cool.
I don't know how it works, because in the movies, I didn't watch the second Blair Witch Project movie,
No,
the one that was like more like a movie instead of a found footage movie, but I don't know how you make this work, because it's probably going to be a survival horror thing, but it's like, do you actually fight anything, or is it just kind of like you're constantly running from stuff? Because at least from what I saw in the trailer, it just seemed like you were just running from shit, and there was like shit popping up and fucking with you. But
kind of sounds like Fortnite meets a haunted house kind of thing.
Maybe.
Where you're like running away from people.
Well, it seemed a bit more like Outlast to me, in the sense that you got a camera that you use, but more of, say, a Slender Man, where you want to avoid.
Slender Man, yeah. Okay. No.
But in this case, I would assume you don't want to avoid the witch, because I mean the whole point of the film was trying to capture the witch on film, right? It seems kind of odd to me. However, maybe the gameplay is going to be something like Fatal Frame, where the only means of defense actually is getting this witch or whatever it is on camera.
Yeah. And maybe they'll have like little ghouls and goblins or some such shit that you can, I guess, fight throughout the game, because there is the point where like they have the guy that's standing in the corner with his face to the wall, and he turns around and tries to attack you, so maybe there's like hallucinations or something like that you see, I guess, in the game.
Maybe the game makes you do mushrooms.
Oh, it all turns out it was just a really bad trip.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bad acid trip.
Yeah, there was no actual witch. They just gave him some really bad dope, and he's just like foaming at the mouth in the corner.
Doesn't have a dog. He really has a cat named Shell or something.
Oh yeah, no. He thinks he has a dog, but it's really a gun,
and
that's why it's called Bullet. Yeah, and then he shoots himself, and that would actually be kind of a cool twist at the end. You kill yourself, and you think that you're like petting a dog, but it's really like the gun, and he like shoots it in his face because he thinks the dog's licking him or something.
What console does this come out on?
Xbox One and PC.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, no PlayStation.
I don't know anybody with an Xbox One.
I'm hesitant, because I'm the same way. Like when the Jason game came out, I need to see someone play it and see some reviews on it first before I fully invest into it. But I still have my Xbox. It's still just sitting around. So I mean,
Well.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I was like, as she was saying it, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, I have an Xbox, and she's sitting here saying, I don't know.
I forgot you said that you.
I forget I got the Xbox half the time, because the shit just sits there. So
I mean, none of us here are really Microsoft Xbox players.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know about Ben, but he doesn't strike me as a Xbox kind of guy.
What does an Xbox guy strike you as? Chad?
Somebody that plays Xbox.
I guess, yeah.
Ben.
I'm just not a modern guy. I have no preference towards any of the major
Ben's more of a
companies.
computer.
Well, yeah, he's more of like the vintage consoles.
Yeah, vintage consoles and computer gaming.
Yeah, like PlayStation 1 and earlier.
Yeah,
kind
so
of
like me.
Yeah, but I mean, going off of what we saw though, like, what did you think about this, Ben?
I think that it kind of reminded me a bit of like Fatal Frame, Outlast,
Especially like you said with that camera.
Slender
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
And actually, somewhat, I kind of had a little bit of a flashback to like Alan Wake.
Yes, I
you've
couldn't
ever
think of that
played that.
game. Alan Wake. Yes. That's. Did it remind you of Silent Hill at all?
Not so
Okay.
much, simply because the camera totally steered away from that. But Alan Wake is a game where you were essentially attacked by, say, Shadow
Yep.
Man.
Oh, okay.
And the only way you couldn't really fight them. I mean, you could shoot them, but the real way to damage them would be to shine
Use
the
a
light
flashlight,
on
yep.
them.
Oh, okay.
And that was a cool. I mean, it was gimmicky, but it was a cool little game mechanic where it was something like
What console was that on?
I want to say PlayStation.
Well, I actually got that on Steam, but it did come out on console as well.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it was Xbox or PlayStation.
I think it may be for all the major ones.
Maybe
Okay.
both.
For the
Maybe.
generation.
All of them.
All of them,
Except for the Switch.
of course.
For the Wii. Rather.
Nothing comes out for the Wii unless it's branded Mario, and
Well,
I mean,
that's because of their peripherals, and the hardware is not as...
not as advanced. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Basically, the Wii is the simpleton of video gaming.
But I mean, other than that, I mean, I'm looking forward to it, and it comes out in a couple of months. So I mean, it'll be something that if it comes out on live, I can, or the Xbox store, I can just go download it and
Right,
play it.
right.
I can't imagine it'll be a huge game, like I
Probably
mean,
not.
like space wise. So I mean, like it'd probably be a pretty easy download.
That'll be like a 5-hour game. That's like a really good rental, probably.
Yeah. Like nothing. Like it's not gonna be 2 Blu-ray discs worth of game, but
Well, if you run it or obtain a copy of it, either physical and or digital or whatever.
Mhm. Another Microsoft reveal is that the Halo franchise has been around since, when did the first Xbox come out? 2001?
Yeah.
2001.
Okay. Yeah, so almost 20 years. And
Stop making me feel old.
yeah, I'm sorry. Look, tell time to stop making you feel old, motherfucker. It ain't got nothing to do with me. But so it's seen its ups and its downs. But Master Chief is back, bitches, I guess. And and
My brother would be excited.
yeah, I'm getting this from GameSpot. It says one of Microsoft's biggest reveals during its E3 briefing was a new story trailer for Halo Infinite, and confirmation that it will be an Xbox Scarlett launch title in holiday 2020. So when we were talking about earlier about Project Scarlett with the new Xbox console, about what games they're going to have, Halo Infinite is going to be the flagship game that they're going to be. It's going to be its Sonic.
Of course it is.
For its Genesis.
Of course it is.
Well, you would think that, but actually, and I don't know if they go over in the article, but the first Halo was like the launch game, but none of the other Halos have been like a launch title since then. Like, it's been other shit. You always associate Halo with Xbox, but it's not always like, hey, the new Xbox and new Halo with it too.
Right.
Like, Halo kind of tapered off in people's, what's the word I want to use? Like, popularity, I guess.
Yeah.
But anywho,
Oh yeah, Halo definitely did drop. The only reason it's really compared with Xbox is because it's exclusivity.
yes, yeah,
It's not a matter of it being like a franchise player per se.
yeah. It's just because
And-
you can only play it on.
Yeah,
Xbox.
Halo really did fall at one. Halo was only really big for its online component, but Call of Duty just
yeah. Call of Duty took
just
that over
dominated
completely,
Halo.
Yeah. But yeah, the release date in 2020 is a big deal for a number of reasons. By that time, it will have been more than 5 years after the release of Halo 5 Guardians in 2015. Not only that, but Halo hasn't been a launch title for a new Xbox hardware since all the way back in 2001 with the original Halo Combat Evolved. Halo Infinite is in development at 343 Industries, and it runs on the studio's brand new Slipspace game engine. Real quick sidebar. I want to work for a tech company because they always just make up just these random ass names for some shit.
Right.
Like, what the fuck does Slipspace even mean? Like, what is that? Like, they just throw words together.
I don't know.
Anyway, studio director Chris Lee appeared on the Inside Xbox live stream at E3 where he talked about how 343's bold ambition for Halo Infinite might not have been possible with the Halo franchise's previous game engine. He also talked about how the Slipspace engine is aimed at supporting Halo titles for 10 years to come. So if you love Halo, I guess get your buttholes ready for 10 more years of Master Chief, I guess.
Like I said, my brother would be excited. I think he's like one of the only people that I know that still play Halo.
Yeah. I was never really,
I mean,
even when the first one came
he
out,
likes
I was like,
Call of Duty,
it's whatever.
But every new Halo game that's come out, he's like, "Oh, I gotta get Halo."
It's like, hey, you live your best life.
Whatever makes you happy, dude.
Lee also confirmed that the Halo Infinite trailer for Microsoft's E3 briefing was in fact the opening cinematic from the game. Showed Master Chief in a bad way, but no one can kill Master Chief, and he returns with an ambition to restore order to the galaxy or something like that. Microsoft has yet to show any actual gameplay, however, and there is no word on what changes or advancements are coming on the multiplayer side. Halo Infinite is the launch title for Xbox Scarlett, but it will also play on any of the Xbox One family of consoles. And in a big move for the franchise, Halo Infinite will be available on PC. So, Benwah, are we excited for Halo? No, me neither. I feel bad. I felt like I had to.
I mean, this is going to appeal to the guys that like the Halo franchise, but me, I'm indifferent. And I'm indifferent to the online component. It might be okay when you go through the actual campaign, but I just prefer Call of Duty for the realism, sans like the regenerative.
Oh, what you don't like when they went to space?
I don't like how you can shoot something 10 times and it doesn't die.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, yeah.
Nor do I like how games are much more forgiving nowadays than what they used to be. Like, even in Call of Duty, you take 1 or 2 shots, your heart pumps, the screen goes red for a minute, but if you just find cover for like 30 seconds...
then you're good.
You're healed again? Like, no, come on.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
I say you take 2 rounds to the chest, you bleeding out somewhere.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's like you take cover while you dying and shit, yeah. So, I mean, but do you think, though, that this can rejuvenate the Halo franchise? Like,
probably not.
Because I think people were really not too thrilled about the last one when they brought that new dude in. Locke, I think his name was, and they made Master Chief like the villain, I guess.
I think this could reboot it if the story's right. Because last I knew, they were still fighting the aliens.
No, I don't know, like, there's a contingent of people who are always going to be hardcore Halo fans, but I'm just curious if, like, that window has passed. I mean,
probably. I think it has. I mean,
but maybe this is their Final Fantasy VII, though.
Maybe.
I mean, the people who were, geeked and hyped about that, like, Halo to them is probably tantamount to that same thing. I mean,
could be. I mean, we're talking people that grew up like 20 years ago. So.
Yeah, because the first Halo came out almost 20 years ago, and Final Fantasy VII came out a little over 20 years ago. So I mean, they're both in that nostalgia, area for like 30 somethings and stuff. So yeah, we'll see.
25 to 30s.
Yeah, but this is the one game we know for sure that's coming out. I don't like the fact that in this article they kept calling it Xbox Scarlett, because I'm like, that's not what it's called. They're just calling it Project Scarlett because they don't have a name for it yet. So again, I want it to be cockbox, but hey, we'll see what they end up calling it. But it's got to be something dope. You can't call your engine what is Slip Space or whatever the fuck that shit is, and then just Xbox Scarlett. No, it's got to be like, I don't know.
Scarlett Johansson.
Look, Xbox Panther Blood or some shit. Like, it's got to be something dope.
That makes me wonder if it's going to come out and be red. Because, the first one was black and green, and then you got the Xbox One come out, and it's like that white color and black. And so I wonder if they're going to release the Xbox as something red.
No, it was Xbox 360 was white.
Oh, yeah.
Xbox One was like that weird grayish black. It looked like a VHS player. It was weird.
I'm kind of surprised that with Halo being a launch title, they're not going to have a Halo bundle with it, where you can get like a special custom edition Xbox console and other paraphernalia.
I think closer to the release, they'll say something about that. I know that Mel does not give a shit about Star Wars. I don't think Benwah gives a shit about Star Wars.
But you care about Star Wars.
I do. So fuck both of y'all, because I
knew
like
that
Star
was
Wars.
Coming.
Okay.
So right. I mean, this isn't a one-legged tripod here.
I like Star Wars enough,
Mm-hmm.
but I've never really gotten into the games, though. Like, I didn't play the Star Wars Battlefield game. I didn't play the Force Unleashed. I wanted to, because that game always looked fun to me, but I never actually played it. And there's been fucking probably hundreds of fucking Star Wars games, like, over the decades, but this one, I was going to say, I was excited for this, but because I don't have an attachment to the other games because I've never played them.
Right.
And I've heard a lot of people kind of say, like, it was just kind of meh to them because it looks like other Star Wars games from the past. But I was like, everything I saw was cool. I mean, he force choking motherfuckers and throwing lightsabers and shit.
Nice.
And I'm like running up walls, and I'm like, that's what I would want out of a Star Wars game. But again, I guess they've kind of done that already with the Force Unleashed. So
I guess if you've not played in that situation, you don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like seeing a movie for the first time, and you're like, yeah, the original was better. And you're like, there's an original?
Right. It's like, hey, like for me, I'm all about it. Like, okay, I'm cool. But Digital Trends, they said at E3 2019, EA and Respawn Entertainment gave us our first look at Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. During the preview, we were shown Padawan Cal Kestis and his droid BD-1 as they embark on a mini-adventure on the planet Kashyyyk. Combat is fluid and flashy. Cal wields a lightsaber, of course, and uses the power of the Force to fight off enemies. In traditional Jedi style, he pulls in enemies and strikes them down stylishly in between acrobatic moves. He also uses his lightsaber to deflect bullets and parry attacks, as well as execute a finisher where he drives his lightsaber into the chest of a stormtrooper. It looks very reminiscent of Star Wars The Force Unleashed, with Respawn Entertainment spearheading development. It gives the impression that Fallen Order will feel tight and precise. The most striking...
Tight like a tiger?
Get out. The most striking element and most subtle was the minimalist HUD. It's unclear if that will carry over to later versions of the game, but keeping the HUD to a bare essentials help maintain the cinematic look. On the bottom left corner is a health and stamina bar, and the occasional skill point notification would pop up on the top of the right-hand corner. The transition from cutscene to gameplay was unnoticeable, and the developers revealed that it was intentionally done to make Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order feel more cinematic. So, I guess they're trying to...
Make it feel like a movie?
Yeah, which could be good and bad. I mean...
I guess it depends on which movie they pick.
Well, this is its own story, to be fair. Like, it takes place in between some of the movies and all that. So, it's like, okay. But, it reminded me kind of an Uncharted, where it's like, yeah, you get to play to a point, but then after a while, the game kind of just takes over, and it's like, I'm just watching them do shit now.
Right.
Like, I'm not really playing anymore, so it's like, I'm just worried that it'll go into that territory. Even the Spider-Man game had elements of that, where there would be some gameplay elements where it was like, I feel like I'm just watching a movie now, which is cool. But it's like, okay, now hit square, and he's going to catch this helicopter from hitting the skyscraper. And I'm like, I would have liked to did that myself personally, but
Right.
sure, I'll just hit this button, and then it'll just go off and do its thing.
It kind of sounds like lazy gaming.
To a degree.
It's a bunch of QTEs.
Yeah, quick time events, yeah. I
Is this Uncharted or like Dragon Slayer? What is this?
yeah, that's a good comparison. That is a good comparison.
See, that's the kind of gameplay that just makes me look at it and be like, nah, I'll pass.
That's fair. But your boy is in it, though.
I know.
Cameron Monaghan, is that his name?
I know, yes.
Poor man's Joker on Gotham?
Cameron
No,
Diaz.
You're
not
Cameron
Cameron
Diaz.
Diaz. Less boob.
Yeah.
Cameron Monaghan. And I like Cameron Monaghan.
I do. I think he's a good actor. I don't necessarily like what they did with him on Gotham. Some of the stuff they did was okay. Towards the end, when he got into like Crypt Keeper Joker, I was like,
I still haven't seen it yet, so
Yeah.
I can't make a decision.
Yeah, you saw that bat suit,
I did see that. Yeah. Fuck that.
though. Yeah. But okay, Cameron. Yeah, you like him.
Anyway, I mean, I don't know. It might be worth checking out
Yeah.
just to kind of see.
They even threw Forrest Whitaker's sleepy eye ass in there and
Oh,
shit for a
okay,
minute.
there
I was
you
like,
go.
oh, okay, all right. Well, he's in there, I guess, because I guess it kind of ties into that Rogue One movie, which I didn't see that, but I know he's in
I
it.
want to know, when did we cross a line where our movies blur into video games and then back, and then our video games blur into movies and back? Like, when did that become a thing?
Probably about 10, 15 years ago at this
Really?
point.
Oh,
Yeah, because games
yeah.
have been becoming more and more like movies. I mean, Call of Duty was like hardcore into doing that shit where the whole game would just stop for like 20 minutes and it's like, and now here's a movie. Like, Benwah, you might know the game I'm talking about, but is it the Kingdom Hearts games where like 90% of it is just like a movie pretty much?
That sounds about right.
Well, I mean, no, but you're talking about FMVs, and even before FMVs, RPGs had a lot of cutscenes in them. And if you want to date back to like the very first like technical, I guess.
I'd say God of War has a lot of cutscenes.
Yeah.
But look at the original Ninja Gaiden series on the NES. That actually did have acts, and in between the acts, you would have scenes.
No, that's
so. This isn't something new to the genre itself, but when they began to blend with films, I'm trying to think, because as far as I'm aware of, they've admitted this Star Wars is going to be canon.
Oh yeah.
So I'm trying to think of at what point something that happened in a video game was really part of a television or film universe, and I can't really think of.
Me neither. I can't think of anything specifically, but I'm sure there's been some kind of tie-in or it's happened like one.
Well, I'm sure over in Japan there's been a tie-in with anime or manga or
Oh
something.
yeah.
Or manga.
Well,
Whatever.
they're good about
Manga.
cross multimedia shit where it's just like, and then you watch the movie and you play the game and then you got to watch the show and then get the comic book and
I
then
would say Pokemon's
the bedtime
kinda
story
like that,
and
though.
yeah, kind of sort of, which makes sense though because you're hardcore fans. That's how you keep getting money into
Right.
the license because it's like, hey, you know, the people who love this shit, they go, and then you subscribe to the website and the newsletter and you get a tattoo,
exclusive
you know,
exclusive content. I actually know a dude that has an entire Pokemon sleeve. Don't give me that look.
The fuck out of here, man. Look, I love me
for
some
real.
Pikachu, but goddamn,
Nope,
not that fucking
he's
much.
got a whole Pokemon sleeve,
Nah, you can keep that.
like
shit.
shoulder to elbow.
Nope.
And did he also buy Pikachu's tail to stick up his ass?
Oh
you know,
yeah, the butt plug.
It
yeah.
wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He has a Pokemon bong.
That's actually kind of cool. I'm not gonna hate on that. That's kind of cool.
I say T-Money, and I bought it for him. I bought it for him just because it was, Pokemon, and we know he likes Pokemon.
Yeah.
But, I mean, knowing him, it wouldn't surprise me that he'd buy the Pikachu dildo or butt plug or whatever.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm excited for this. Like, I mean, again, if anybody played The Force Unleashed, they're probably like, they just remade that again. But I did not play it, so I am
You're fresh and virginal to the episode.
Right. My anticipation for this has not been hampered because it looks all fresh content to me. So I'm with it.
So fresh and so clean.
Get the fuck out. Now, finally,
The one I'm excited about.
the piece de resistance.
Oh,
Now,
yes.
I'm getting this from Digital Trends. After a 2-year wait, Square Enix Avengers game has finally been revealed to the world. During the E3 2019 showcase, viewers got a chance to see what Marvel's Avengers gameplay will be like, what heroes will appear at launch, and what the intentions are for the game post-launch. Now, back in 2017, Square Enix and Marvel announced a multi-game partnership that was to start with an Avengers game developed by Crystal Dynamics. Up until right before this year's E3, things were quiet and leaks started to roll out and frame what the upcoming Avengers game would be like. The official reveal of Marvel's Avengers showed in in-engine cinematic cutscenes and prototype gameplay using the game's 5 main heroes: Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, Black Widow, and Thor. The Avengers combat that took advantage of each of the characters' abilities, flight, and lots of chaos. The story focused on a world rocked by a catastrophic event that results in one of the main characters' deaths, the heroes taking the blame, and the team disbanding. The Avengers story can be played with up to 3 friends in online 4-player co-op. The launch is set for 2020 and is only the start for the game that Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics plans to support over multiple years. In addition to expanding the game's story, post-launch content like new playable Marvel characters and regions to fight through will be free to owners of the game. Voice actors for Marvel's Avengers include Troy Baker as Nolan North as Iron Man, Laura Bailey as Black Widow, Jeff Shine as Captain America, and Travis Willingham as Thor. The developers stressed that no loot boxes or pay-to-win mechanics will be implemented. Nevertheless, it will be interesting to see how a straightforward action experience thus far unfolds as an experience that lives or dies on post-launch updates. Electronic Arts' Battlefield 5 is another game that is taking a similar approach with the entirely free Tides of War updates over multiple years, but the game also features a competitive mode in addition to a single-player and co-op modes. Marvel's Avengers launches on May 15th of 2019 for Xbox One, PC, PS4, and Google Stadia. That's got to be a typo.
Yeah, because it's way past.
Yeah, maybe they meant to put 2020 and just fucked up. But Crystal Dynamics shared during E3 conference that PS4 gamers will get early beta access, surprises, and other unique benefits to be revealed in the future. Yeah, that's got to be a typo. They must have meant to put 2020. Okay, Mel, tell me why you're excited.
Because this looked amazing.
Okay.
And I know that everybody on the internet was like shitting all over it, but
really,
yeah, I just happened to glance at Google for a second, and like the first 4 stories that popped up was E3 announces Avengers, and people are not happy, and people are not happy about the Avengers, and this and this and.
I have some gripes, but I'll let you go.
I mean, it looks like it's gonna play well.
Okay.
I don't really have a rhyme or reasoning behind it, I guess. I'd have to see more. I'd have to see,
sure,
how gameplay is going to go, but it looks like it's going to play well.
I'll give you my gripes, but I'm interested to hear Benwah's take first.
It's going to be released on November 15th. I'm sorry, no.
What the fuck? When is this game coming out?
Sorry.
We may never know.
No. It is going to be next year. It's going to be next year, May 15th. It will be on all platforms, including Stadia, but not, of course, the Switch. So Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Google Stadia. I don't really give a shit about the game. Like it, I like the fact that it says all editions are going to be free.
Yes.
No loot boxes. No paying for any extra bullshit.
Microtransactions.
And there's also going to be a beta released earlier for PS4 owners who pre-order the game. So, I mean, if you have a PS4 and you want to get your hands on it early to see what all the hype or lack of hype is about.
T-Money has a PS4.
Yeah. See?
But
there you go. Look into getting that. Look into pre-ordering that.
I have to see what I have to do to butter him up to.
Well, you got a whole year to do it, so I'll say you better.
You got you got about 11
massaging them
months.
feet or something.
Yeah, get a stronger vacuum.
Right.
I don't even own a vacuum, so
buy some knee pads.
Right. But
knee pads are not necessary.
What I'm curious about though is it because you're not really into like the whole action, I guess, MMO game play element, or like what's your
I'm just over superheroes.
Okay, that's fair.
Get the fuck out.
That's fair.
No, get the fuck out.
No, that's fair. That's fair because I mean, we've always been more on the opposite end of the spectrum as far as superheroes go than Benwah, so that's fair. I get it. So then it's more so because it's the Avengers and less because of the game itself. Uh-oh.
He got the fuck out.
He got it. Okay. Ha.
No. Like, to be honest, I just don't care. I just don't care about the Avengers game. I don't.
That's fair.
I'm more curious about like how the Blair Witch game is going to end up looking in a couple months, and how this Cyberpunk game is going to vary from, say, Shadowrun games, Deus Ex games. Oh God, what the hell was the one that came out a few years ago, where it was all about being able to hack into devices? They try to like advertise it as it's like GTA, but
because there's another one that they showed at E3 too that's coming out that I totally forgot about. It's a Ubisoft game.
I can't think of it.
But no, I know what you're talking about though. Yeah, something in the vein of that. Yeah. Watch Dogs.
Yes, Watch Dogs. Yes.
Okay. Well, for me, I'm obviously excited because it's the Avengers. I mean, no shit, big surprise there. But my thing is, I thought we were gonna get the Avengers game and not like the poor man's Avengers, because I'm like, I get it. This is Square Enix interpretation of the team. But I'm like, when they first showed them, I was like, that is not Captain America. That is not Black Widow. I was like, I don't know who this homeless dude is. They saying it's Tony Stark, but I was like, who are these people? The only person that kind of looks like their movie counterpart was Bruce Banner.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like Mark Ruffalo, kind of. But everybody else, I was just like, who the fuck is this? Like Thor? I was like, that is not Thor. Like, why is his character model so weird looking? And I get it. They can't just model them after the actors, because then they're not going to cut Robert Downey Jr. another $50 million check.
Hell no.
So they like, look, he dead. We done with him. Like, he too expensive. I get that. So they can't just make Robert Downey Jr. in the game. I get that. Sure. But at the same time,
they could do a little bit better.
I feel like I don't know, maybe because it's still a year out or so, but I just feel like the graphics were kind of shoddy. It just didn't look very good. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, the designs of the characters were just kind of like, whatever. But I mean, it just
that was my one concern.
Yeah, and I don't get me wrong. I could kind of ignore that because I'm like, look, the game's still got a year out. It might even get pushed back, to polish it up some more. But I would have been fine with waiting a little bit longer to see something from it if we could have got a better first look. Because I'm like, look, man, everybody's hyped about this shit, and if this is gonna be your very first peek at what this game is gonna be like you got to come hard. Like, you can't come like half-mast. Like, you got to be full erect penis. And so I just feel like
no
half chub. No, you can't. Nobody wants that. Like, limp noodle is not sexy.
Not.
That being said, though, gameplay wise, it does look really cool. I don't like the fact that the story is a lot like Civil War, because it's like, oh, something bad happened and now we got to break up the Avengers because we can't trust them and they on the run and they fugitives and shit. I'm like, I felt like we just did this a couple years ago with Captain America Civil War, but sure, whatever.
Whatever, why not? We'll just revisit it. It's okay.
But at the same time, though, too, did you notice that they killed Cap?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, bitch. Like,
it's Tony that dies, not Cap.
Well, because they say it's 4-player co-op, so I'm like, but there's 5 characters in the trailer, so I was like, oh, so that means that they killed Cap and he's just gone. I was like, okay. Now, they did say this is going to be updated over multiple years, and there's going to be more characters to play as, and more content will come out and roll out.
Mm-hmm.
But the little bit that they showed of Cap fighting with the I don't know, Hydra or whoever the fuck them dudes was, I was like, that gameplay looked cool. The stuff with Natasha fighting a dude on a jetpack and shit, that looked like that could be fun. Anything with the Hulk is dope. Like, I remember the Incredible Hulk video game from years ago now, and that was really fucking cool. And I really looked forward to that, but I don't know. The look of it is what my biggest issue is right now. If I can get past the look and just focus on the gameplay itself, what I saw looks cool. The story looks like it could be interesting, but I feel like they could have left it in the oven a little bit longer. Like,
maybe.
It's not looking too hot.
Maybe they're gonna redo it like they did Sonic and be like,
don't say that shit. Don't.
Just kidding.
Don't put that evil juju on that shit. But at the same time, I guess my retort to people who don't like the way that the characters look is, I'm like, when the Spider-Man PS4 game came out, everybody said that Peter Parker looked kind of weird. But I'm like, once you start playing it, I think you'll get past that kind of shit. I don't think that'll be a make or break thing for people on the game. But we'll see. Yeah, but that is not coming out May 15th of 2019. That will be May 15th of 2020.
Yes.
And skimming back over the article again, they actually said the launch is set for 2020, like halfway through the article, and then by the end they said, and it's coming out May of this year. And I'm like, it's June.
And be like, you're a little late.
Yeah. But one thing that I didn't like about how they presented it at E3 was they told the audience that there would be gameplay at their booth, but didn't actually show us any, and that kind of had me a little bit worried because I'm like, does that mean that they're trying to hide it because it don't look good, or
could be,
right?
Or that it's not done?
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe they should just waited until because it'll be out by next year, supposedly by E3 next year, but we'll see. But okay, that was our E3 coverage. Again, there was a lot more shit we could have talked about, but I'm like, I'm not talking about any of these Switch games that they announced, any of these mobile games, any of that kind of bullshit. Like I'm strictly just focusing on like the main console ones and the new Xbox, I guess, the Xbox Scarlett Johansson. But that is it for the show. Remember, you can always find us at our home, onegiantleapforgeeks.libsyn.com. We are also on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or anywhere else you get your podcast. Make sure to show us some love, so go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, rate, follow, review, and all that shit.
And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, or criticisms, you just want to say hi, you can always find us on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks. We are on Facebook, Reddit, Instagram. I myself am on Twitter at Froggy Weaver, and Benwah is on Twitter at Benwah Gaming, BENWAH Gaming. So if this is his last show, you should reach out to him and
it's
show
so
your
hard
love.
To say goodbye to yesterday. Right.
Now there's going to be a whole bunch of you who have no idea what that song is from.
That's sad.
I suggest you Google it, and the four of us are going to go feel old somewhere. So, I know, I do too. And I looped T-Money in there because, he's here too. Alright, well, you guys have a good night. Bye!